Of the weekend, courtesy of Oakland's own, wearing the letter O, Damian Lillard. Ramona, how did it look from your big house?
I mean, you know what was amazing about this game is he could probably go for 50 every night, but when he gets it going like this, it's like you just have to hope they leave him in the game long enough to see where he ends up, because he was both aggressive but also patient. I mean, this shot chart is ridiculous.
Look at the three-pointers. Just in the first half alone, he would have 8.
We need to rename this the Dame 3. I mean,
when you barely cross
like, put a new
logo.
arc out there and just make that the Dame.
Is that the 4-point line at this point? Well, he would keep it going, gets all the way to the rim here and floats it in. Tristan, how difficult is it to achieve 41 points in the first half?
Well, I haven't never scored 40 in the first half, but I'm just saying it looks difficult. But, like, throw a double team, get the ball in his hands, do something.
I know. You kept wondering, all right, are the Houston Rockets going to throw a different coverage at this man when he hits 46 points, when he hits 48 points, when the counter just keeps going up and up and up?
Just keeps building. You know, the Rockets, man, defense is the last thing on their mind. They're ready for victory. I can just tell.
I'm not here to rag on the Rockets. I'm just here to celebrate Dame. Did you hear that, Chene? We are not ragging on your Rockets. Look at what Damian Lillard was able to do. He's able to get it done from 3. He's able to get it done inside the paint. He was on from everywhere. And Ramona, he was able, to your point, to stay in the game long enough. They actually needed it for him to go off like that.
Well, and that's the key to these games. Game has to
catch a body.
He has to stay in the game. It has to be close enough for them to leave him in the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like I saw Kobe have a lot of these type of games, and Phil Jackson would like pull him with 50, 60 points in the third quarter.
Right.
The Warriors have this all the time. But this game was just close enough they had to leave him in.
They had to leave him in. Just for an exclamation point here, Damian Lillard once again hits the floater. 71 points. The Blazers win it. 131-114. Damian Lillard was the man last night. His teammates let him know in the post-game interview. He had it going, though, just from all over the court. He was making 22 of his 38 shots from the field, setting the Trailblazers' single-game scoring record in the process. Now, Lillard, the scoring record, he has it against 2 franchises, the Nets and the Rockets. He also did it in fewer than 40 minutes. So take a listen to Chauncey Billups after the game.
No, I've never seen it. I've never seen a performance like that before. It was a piece of art.
Dame has that look in his eye. He sure does. Into the lane, running right-hander up and in. Damian Lillard with that runner. 71 points, a career high.
I do the work, man. I do things the right way. I make sure I put my time in. I go out there and do it for the right reasons. And, you know, I think because so many people have witnessed what happens before these performances happen, they appreciate this, you know, as that type of art, you know, and that's why it means something to me. I live for the moments, you know, where I'm taking over and dominating games, but I don't live for, you know, the stuff that comes afterwards.
The most efficient 60-point game, league history, now the most efficient 70-point game.
So just to contextualize this, Dame, he's been putting up ridiculous numbers and shots this entire season. I want to take a look at the most ridiculous. This is October 21st. You remember this. It's against the Suns. A little heavy, a little pull-up from a cool 30
He's a great
feet.
defender, too, Josh Okogie. Yeah.
And then December 8th versus the Nuggets. Inside 15 seconds, the Blazers down 1. Dame Lillard, what did you say? Gets to a spot, Ramona.
Yeah, that's the Dame 3 now. I mean, it's like 40 feet. And he makes it look easy every time.
He makes it look easy on February 6th against the Milwaukee Bucks, too. 14 seconds left here. Damian Lillard, he pulls up from 41 feet. What?
Half court.
What?
Like, you have to guard him out there.
What? Like, at this point, just double team him. And then February 13th against the Lakers. Don't worry, Lakers fans. We're going to show some good of you guys as well. 1.6 on the clock. First quarter, Dame Lillard. I mean,
he loves the right side. I'm convinced. The right side is Dame's
all the way
side.
over.
What more is there to say?
Much taller defenders.
What more is there to say about this man? And just for good measure, in case you didn't catch it on Ramona's huge TV in her huge house, here is Damian
Yeah, I live in the valley. We got room out there.
But sometimes, Ramona, when you have an absolutely absurd game, you get drug tested.
I mean, honestly, I was like, are y'all serious? Like, I did the urine test yesterday, and then they backed it up with the blood draw tonight after the game. That's actually my first time in my career being tested after a game. And then aside from that, they know that I'm scared of needles. So I know I got a lot of tattoos, but when you're doing a blood draw, it's different than tattoos. But it brought me down from here to the floor, all the way until it was done. And then once I finished it, I was like, all right, I got that out the way. So I felt way better afterwards.
I feel you, Dame. I'm afraid of needles, too, and I only have one tattoo. All right, Lillard's he's the 8th player with 70 points in a game in NBA history. He joins Donovan Mitchell as the 2nd player to have one this season. This is the first time in league history, you can see it on your screen there, where multiple 70-point games have come in the same season. And Dame got there with 13 threes, the most in any 70-point game. I mean, I'm not sure what the numbers speak for themselves. Just an incredible performance from Damian Lillard. Our hat is off to you, sir. Excellent. We're going to keep it pushing because Sunday, the Lakers, I thought this was going to be the game of the day, right? There was just everything kept upping the ante. Yep. They made their largest comeback in 20 years. It came at the expense of the Mavericks. Let's take a look at it here. Ramona, Christian Wood, he's got that range. He hits the three.
Well, at the beginning of the game, this was the Mavericks hitting threes and the Lakers being atrocious from three.
Yeah. So you saw that stat at the bottom of your screen there. Teams are 0-138 this season when trailing by 27 plus points at any point.
Kyrie's seen that before.
Yeah, he's seen that one before. LeBron James says, get that out of there. Pushing ahead to the 3rd quarter here. This is about the time when I was like, all right, I can get up. I can take a little break. I can maybe drive into the studio for NBA Countdown because it looks like Dallas has this on ice. Not so fast, LeBron says.
They just stayed so aggressive in the paint. They took advantage of their size advantage and kept with the game plan of getting in the paint.
3rd quarter, once again, LeBron going to work, gets it all the way, can't quite get it to go. He's fouled on this. This is a scary moment.
Oh, man.
He comes down and he's saying, I heard a pop, I heard a pop. And that's when Lakers fans, LeBron fans, basketball fans around the world are going, oh, no. Please no. But he stayed in the game. He was able to get up. So we'll keep it pushing to the 4th quarter because this is where things got good. 2 minutes to go here in the 4th. Lakers down. Dennis Schroeder. Oh, can he get it to go? This is what a healthy Anthony Davis can do, Ramona.
Yeah, did you hear Darvin Ham talking about they call him Wilt Davis, like Wilt Chamberlain Davis?
And that's what he's got to do, though. He's got to play big. They put him at center now. It's time to be big boy and body up.
Well, and the story of this game, Jared is Vanderbilt, right? Yep. Vando, they call him. They put him on Luka Doncic, and it gave them a look that they have not had all year defensively with that wing defender. And it gave Luka some problems.
Anthony Davis going to work here. This is what they need to be able to do to close out games like this. Davis had 30 points, 15 rebounds. LeBron, 26 points. Irving, 21 and 11. Doncic had 26 points. So I mentioned it. The Lakers' 27-point comeback was the largest this season, with teams entering Sunday 0-138 when falling behind by that much. It was a big day for LeBron James as well. He led teams having tied the largest comeback of his career. So monumental comeback by LeBron and company, but Lakers fans, they were holding their breath during that rally when James said he heard a pop. Ramona, what more can you tell us about that injury?
Well, he said after the game, I'm not going to miss any time because, as you know, they have a short season now to make up. And they finally got out of 13th place in that one. But this game coming up against Oklahoma City is very important because that's one of the teams that they are chasing. And that's one of the teams that they need to win here. So, the ankle injury, you always have to see how it feels the next day. I've checked in, and we haven't heard any updates going forward about how he feels the next day with that ankle injury, but he's going to want to try to get out there.
Well, fingers crossed, because the Lakers, they're on a 3-game winning streak at this point, Tristan. That's something that earlier in the season fans were hoping for, praying for. What have you learned about this Lakers team in that stretch?
Well, this is a different Lakers team. Before the deadline, if we said that the Lakers team before the deadline could go on a 3-game winning streak, you'd be like, hope and pray, hope and pray. This is a different ball club. This is a team that's added depth, youth, length, and role players that have actually played meaningful minutes and have played at a high level. And you guys saw it. They threw different looks at Luka, and like you said, Momo, Vanderbilt gave Luka problems. It's his length, his activity, that changed the whole course of the game and really took him out of rhythm. And that's what the 27-point, that's a big comeback.
Vince, where do you fall on this?
Yeah, I think the Lakers are relevant, and I think they have what it takes to get themselves back into playoff contention. I still say I'm not sure if 6th place can happen. Anything can happen. I understand that, but They're doing what they need to do. Every team wants to hit their stride after the All-Star break, and they're doing it. You know, when you hit your stride, you're hoping that puts you in the best possible position. Yes, they want to, you know, why not set your goal for 6th place and see where you fall from there? Because if they get in the play-in tournament, they'll be okay and make some noise. And who wants to see the Lakers are in a 7th or 8th seed at that if they're playing their best basketball?
Mark?
You know, if this team has a healthy LeBron and they have a healthy AD, they're capable of beating anybody. Vanderbilt's defense, Beasley shooting, although he struggled yesterday, a bench with Hashimura, Brown, Reeves, Mo Bamba. This is, like Vince said, is a really, really new Lakers team. And, hey, you know, while they're in this 13th spot or whatever getting out, they're not too far behind. 6. Like, look at the standing.
Right.
They're not too far behind. So if their margin of error is slim, but if the Lakers keep chipping away, who knows? Maybe they could be in the 6th seed.
Okay, so listening to everybody, it sounds like people are pretty high on the Lakers. So let's put this to the test. I want to see how far everyone's willing to ride with the Lakers.
I'm ready to ride. I got my seatbelt. I'm ready to ride. Let's go.
Like, we ride in the night. If the Lakers get in as the 8th seed, let's assume everybody is healthy. As it stands right now, they would face the Nuggets as the number 1 seed. So raise your hand if you all believe that the Lakers would get past the Nuggets in a 7-game series.
I'm raising my hand for myself and Perk and RJ.
Right?
So.
Oh,
I think they got to. I got
to beat them.
what?
Denver does not want to see the Lakers.
I'm like a 50-50 here.
I like Denver too. That would be a tough series.
Come on, Vince.
I'm going to say yes.
Thank you, Vince.
God, everybody said yes. All right, if the Lakers get up to 7, keep your hands up if they're beating the Grizzlies, who are fine in the West.
I'm raising my hand as well.
Yeah, see?
I'm keeping mine down.
Keeping yours down. Why?
Yeah, I like the Grizz.
I like the Grizz too, especially Steven Adams healthy.
And they have so much depth, and I think.
But we have 3 hands. I think the Lakers are getting past both Denver and the Grizzlies. All right. Yes, Vince.
I think that's a favorable matchup for them. I think they can compete with the Grizzlies and make it tough.
You said Steven Adams. I think
Conference Finals. Who's riding with them to the Conference Finals?
Well,
that matchup.
If they beat the 1 or 2 seed, if they beat Memphis or Denver, I got them in the conference finals.
All right, so then let's say they face, I don't know, the Mavs or the Suns. Or you riding with them to the finals?
I got them in the conference finals. And if the matchup's right,
don't sleep on my Kings.
Yeah, the Kings.
Don't sleep on my Kings.
Thank you.
Mark, I love you. I love you, Mark.
Points the other night.
They're just trying to break the playoff drought. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to break the playoff drought in Sacramento.
I'm sorry, Tristan.
They break it.
You have the
They look
current
good,
Lakers.
bro.
Respect.
Come on, Tristan. They
You
look
have the
good.
current
Tristan.
Lakers.
Yeah.
If we said Lakers or the field, who are you taking?
Lakers or the field?
Yes.
No, I'm taking the field.
Lakers.
I'm taking the field.
Listen, a healthy Anthony
right.
Davis. I'm taking Lakers.
We're going to have Tristan test what's in your cup.
He's
But we're going to
trying
get
to
a
get
little
a 10-day.
game in the commercial break going on here. I like the Lakers, but dang, Tristan. All right, still to come on
He's trying to get
NBA
a
Today.
10-day.
I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this because, Tristan, you're predicting how the MVP race is going to shake out, but based on your predictions of the Lakers, ooh-wee, you're not going to want to miss that. And after Luka and the Mavs, they blew that lead to the Lakers. Does our panel think that things are getting a little bit dangerous in Dallas? You're also going to want to take a listen to what Jason Kidd had to say.
I told my teammates coming out that timeout. Game time.
Inbound to Smart. Bounce past Tatum. Tatum puts up a 3. Bang! Jason Tatum from downtown. 1.3 remaining. Oh, they say no good. Came after the buzzer. And the Celtics win a thriller.
I mean, what a game in Philadelphia on Saturday. Jason
That was
Tatum,
when we were
Joel
all
Embiid.
screaming at the TV, right?
I was like, did it count? Did it go? What?
I just woke the baby up.
How lucky are we that we all got to watch it on ABC because the big house didn't.
No, the baby's inside the big house.
Yeah,
He woke up. I was screaming.
Well, I mean, that was, I believe it was an instant classic.
It was.
Right? How did Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum react to this? What did they tell you?
Look, Jason Tatum was basically, he had a bad game. He had an off shooting night that game. Philly played extremely good defense on him, and he basically said, you know, I had to hit that shot to make up for the bad game that I had, that's so Jason Tatum. Like, he is such a Kobe Bryant disciple, and he referenced that game that Kobe Bryant had, 2010 finals, bad game 7 for Kobe Bryant, but won it with defensive rebounding. And when you don't have your shot shot falling, you focus on other areas of the game, but when it mattered at the end of the game, Jason Tatum hit that shot. Then Joel Embiid took a minute to get over that one because that was a deflating loss. But I think he said he came away from that game encouraged by what Philly has. He really thinks they're close because they've been on such a good run here. He obviously has to play a lot of minutes in that game. He hit the 70-footer that didn't count, but they're so close. I think in his mind, that was an encouraging game rather than a deflating game because of how well they played.
He seemed like he knew that shot, it wasn't good. He walked off the floor. All of us were just kind of waiting to see, is there any chance, because it was so improbable, so incredible. You've reported on this show, Ramona, that Joel Embiid, when he looks at matchups against Nikola Jokic, that's his Super Bowl. But the Celtics, they've eliminated the Sixers and him from the postseason twice. How does he view these?
I mean, they're 1-8 in the playoffs against them. They've eliminated from them twice. Like, this is the team they have to go through if they want to get through that second round hurdle. And they're so close. Like, they are as close as Joel was to winning that game for them. Just a couple seconds too late. Not even seconds, like a tenth of a second too late. Like they feel like they're closing the gap on the Celtics, but so far the Celtics are just deeper, stronger. They know how to defend. And the issue for the Sixers in this game was when Joel Embiid was on the floor, they were great. And in the minutes that he did not play, they were atrocious. And this is an issue Philly has to face going forward because they didn't add a backup big man for Joel Embiid. They didn't go out and get a Mo Bamba or a Mason Plumlee, who's had a great impact for the Clippers. They are dependent on Joel Embiid playing 40, 42 minutes a night.
Yeah, Joel and the Celtics are sort of inextricably linked because their path to the finals, it absolutely goes through Boston. And Joel Embiid's path to an MVP, it may very well go through Nikola Jokic. And
March 27th.
He was cooking last night, Ramona. I mean, third straight MVP award. I'm not sure if we're going to award it to him quite yet, but the play that he has been putting on has been absolutely incredible. So this is last night, Kawhi Leonard versus Nikola Jokic. We picked this one up late in the fourth. Paul George going to work here, gets that one to go. This was incredible. Once again, Nikola Jokic.
I mean, the footwork on that is ridiculous. You have to slow that down to appreciate how good his footwork is there.
And the scratches on his arm, like, was he fighting a bear? What is happening? Well, maybe he's fighting the claw. Encouraging play, though, from Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard has been on one lately. I know they lost this game, and they lost that heartbreaker to Sacramento on Friday night at 176-175. But if you've been watching the Clippers lately and seeing how well Kawhi Leonard's been playing, he is rounding into Kawhi Leonard peak performance.
He is at just the right time. Michael Porter Jr.
That was a big shot.
Huge shot. Huge shot for Michael Porter. The Nuggets, just impressive, gutsy, once again going up, trying to steal it here. The Clippers, they have one more shot. We've seen these go in this weekend. And
an all-time shot that doesn't count, but it was like one day after Joel Embiid did that from 15 feet further back.
Yeah, this was the weekend where the improbable, the impossible happened. So to overtime we go. This is when the Nuggets just took over and dominated. Michael Porter Jr. once again hits the three, puts the Nuggets up by 7 at this point, and then under 2 minutes to play here, Nuggets up by 8. Jokic gets in the paint, hits that little floater, finished with 40 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. The Nuggets get the win, 134-124. So the Joker just continues his dominant run in the pursuit of his third consecutive MVP award. Nikola Jokic is the first player in NBA history with 3 games of 40 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists in a single season. The Nuggets needed every bit of the effort, though. Denver continues to remain unbeaten in games where he has a triple-double, a perfect 23-0. So these are how the MVP odds are shaken out according to Caesars Sportsbook. You can see who is the favorite right now, followed by Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. Tristan, you don't like it.
You see it on my face.
I can see it on your face. So this is what we're going to do. I'd like Tristan Thompson's top candidates for the MVP in order from 3 to 1. Can we do that?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready? So give me number 3.
Number 3, we're going to go with the big fella, Nikola Jokic. Yes, he's number 3. I love his PER. He's leading the league at points efficiency. He has 60%. 40.
Third?
Yeah, he's third. 60% from the field goal, 40 from 3. He's doing a great job, but he's not number 1. He's number 3. He's got a way to go.
Okay.
Let's build him. Number 2.
Number 2.
Joel Embiid, leading the league in scoring, top 10 in blocks. You saw on Saturday, even though they lost, he's a man-child. You cannot stop him. He can do everything out there, and that's good. But my number one, the MVP in the league, Jason Tatum. And you know what a coach told me growing up? Big-time players make big-time plays in big moments.
Okay.
And listen, to back it up, JT leads the league in game tying or winning shots in the last 5 seasons. And listen, they're the number one East. Come with me now. Number one East.
And they've been atop the East all season long.
With guys out.
Incredible.
With guys out. He's had Robert Williams out. He's had Jaylen Brown out. He's had Marcus Smart out.
Yeah.
He has weathered the storm.
Yep.
And that's what an MVP does.
Yep.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is what MVPs do.
Yeah.
And it's about time he gets his respect. Come on, JT.
Okay. I mean, I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at Joel Embiid. Second, I'm not mad at Jason Tatum being in this conversation. And I get the voter fatigue on Nikola Jokic, but even David McMenamin has a story up on ESPN.com this morning. Even if you ask his peers, Jason, Joel, LeBron, none of them have a problem with Nikola.
They don't have a problem with Jokic, but guess what? They'd rather JT. I'd rather JT.
Hey, I'll be in Boston this week for all access with the Celtics, and I'll make sure to let JT know. Tristan Thompson has him at the top of the MVP voting. Tristan, we teased it earlier. Are things starting to get a little bit concerning in Dallas? Because after the Mavericks blew that lead against the Lakers, their coach, what he said, caught our panel's ear.
Yeah, I'm not the savior here. I'm not playing. I'm watching, just like you guys.
All right, back here with the full squad, Ramona, Tristan, Vince, and Mark Spears. So we're going to play a little chop it or drop it. And for those of you who don't know the rules, who forget the rules, how it works, if you want to chop it, if you want to talk about it, then you say chop it and we discuss it. If you want to drop it, then you do exactly that and you move on. Right. Move on. Is everyone cool? Vince, are we cool?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We're going to start with the Mavs. Because, as they say, the numbers, they don't lie. The Mavericks are 1-3 in the 4 games where both Luka and Kyrie Irving have played together. It's been the best and it's been the worst. Dallas has the best offense, but the worst defense in the NBA in those games. So Coach Jason Kidd, he had some issues with that.
Yeah, I'm not the savior here. I'm not playing. I'm watching, just like you guys. And as a team, we got to mature. And, you know, we got a lot of new bodies coming back, and we have to grow up if we want to win a championship. There's no young team that's ever won a championship, mentally or physically. And so what the Lakers just showed us is that it's not a race. It's not the rabbit who wins. It's the turtle. And they work the game. And that's where we have to get to. We have to get better at working the game, and we will.
Rabbit and turtle, tortoise and hare. It's all fine. Chop it or drop it, Tristan.
Let's chop it. Let's chop it. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it. I think I know there's a lot of emotions going on. I know J-Kid's frustration, especially with the trade and a lot of moving pieces. But listen, this team is made to the Western Conference Finals, and they got to understand that the pressure is on, and everyone's got to understand that, from the coaches to the players. And you guys got to be ready to play. This is unexcusable. 27, unexcusable.
Vince?
I played with J. Kidd, and it's just funny sitting there watching him talk and just see his facial expression. This is his challenge. You know, some people might not like how he goes about it, but this is J. Kidd challenging not only Luka but Kyrie. Yeah, he's like, the honeymoon is over. Now it's about winning in position, playing position basketball, and he's just trying to get it out there. Like, sometimes you just got to do it that way. Yes, I know some people are like, well, he got to take onus on his part. True, but he's challenging his superstars to step up, like what was done when they won the championship in Dallas to dirt.
Mark?
Jason Kidd don't have to give them juice boxes and cookies. You know, they threw a 27-point lead, get on their tail, and yell at them and make them better. And that's what coaches got to do. You got to coach them up.
Ramona?
But look, J. Kidd has never minced words. Like, he has had a lot of strong statements before through the media about Luka Doncic earlier in his career. This is how he coaches him. He challenges him. And this right now is him saying, you guys wanted a new player here. But they traded away Dorian Finney-Smith, one of their best defensive players in this trade for Kyrie Irving. Now you got to play some defense. And he's challenging both Luka and Kyrie to play some defense.
Yeah, and there's no problem with that. That's how Jason Kidd kind of does it. I'm not sure he's watching just like us. He maybe a little bit more of a hand in it, but I get the point. Let's stick in the West here. The Clippers, their last 2 games, a little something like this, right? On Friday, the Sacramento Kings, they defeated LA 176-175. It was a double overtime game, what turned out to be the second highest scoring game in NBA history. And then last night, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, they knocked off the Clippers 134-124 in overtime. So for anyone keeping score, that's 3 overtimes, 2 losses in Westbrook's first games with the Clippers. So Ramona, chop it or drop it. Are we concerned in Clipperland?
No, I'm going to drop it. I was talking to Ty Lue after both these games, and he said, I need 5 games. I need 5 games to figure out these rotations and figure out how to make this work. But you guys, Kawhi Leonard, watch that man closely. The claw is back. He is good. And Westbrook is fitting in right where they need him to. You want to do the claw?
Right, the claw
I can't claw with my little hand.
We keep it pushing then. It was the 2021 Finals rematch yesterday. It was between Phoenix and Milwaukee. This was another great game. So many great games this weekend. No Giannis Antetokounmpo. Drew Holiday, scored 33 points. Brooke Lopez made a tie-breaking layup with 24.8 seconds left. The Bucks won 104-101 for their 14th consecutive victory. 14-game winning streak, Vince Carter. Chop it or drop it, the Bucks. They are the best team in the East.
Malika, because of the way Tristan laid that out about Jason Tatum, we're going to drop it. Because the Boston Celtics, I still think, are number 1.
Okay, well, we chopped it. We dropped it. But let's stick with the Bucks because Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has agreed to purchase Mark Lasry's 25% stake of the Milwaukee Bucks in a deal that puts the value of the NBA franchise at $3.5 billion. That's according to Tim Bontemps. The agreement, though, has not yet been finalized. Yeah, that's a pretty penny. Before we head to break, everybody, here's something that made me smile, and I hope it makes you smile, too. Our friend and our colleague, Mark Jones, he called the Fresno State San Jose State women's basketball game with his daughter Sophia this weekend. And we've seen father and son duos, we've seen brothers, but father and daughter, I can't remember seeing that happen before. Take a listen.
Sophia, it's been a blast. It was a pleasure to call my first ever game with you. This will always go down as one of my career highlights. I just want you to know that. This was a lot of fun. I hope to do it again sometime.
Oh, thank you. It was such an honor.
Man, I love that.
I love that.
I love that so much. As someone who's, I've done segments obviously with my sister, sharing this with family, it is so special. And Mark, he has a beautiful family. I've been really lucky. I've gotten to have dinners with them on the road, meet his wife, meet his other 2 children. They are such wonderful people. Mark, actually, he bounces ideas for his catchphrases a little bit off of his family. Like, is this cool? Does this work? So Mark and Sophia, that was awesome. I hope to hear you both on calls for many games to come. On ESPN, though, and ABC Family of Networks, you can hear Mark Jones in action this Saturday. But ESPN, it is the home for a Friday night doubleheader. The next
State Farm. I want people to say that LeBron James did it his way.
The 3rd leading scorer, number 2, all-time in scoring.
And now he's the legend.
The crowd wants it. James fade, jumper, good! LeBron James is the NBA's new all-time scoring king.
As much as I tried to live in the moment, it was kind of a blur. I've been able to do some incredible things in this league, and hopefully I can do some more incredible things before I'm done.
So it's a debate as old as time. I mean, not quite, but the discussion is heard at barbershops, bars, games, on your televisions around the world. Who's the NBA's GOAT? Well, thanks to a poll commissioned by ESPN, you now have some numbers that can back up your next great debate about the greatest to ever lace them up.
It feels like it started with his hand still hanging in the air. The perfect punctuation to the perfect career. Yet before that sight had receded from our vision into our memory, we began to search. Who would be the next? Who could take his place? Would anyone ever again make us feel the way Michael Jordan made us feel?
Michael at the foul line, a shot on Elo, good! The Bulls win it!
The successors to his throne came fast and furious, and some were fabulous, reaching heights that few in the game's history had ever approached. But not until now has the question felt fully worth asking.
He's got it! He's done it!
With LeBron James sitting atop the all-time scoring list, while 4th in assists, with his 4 rings, 4 MVPs, and 2 gold medals. has he staked a legitimate claim to being the greatest player of all time?
LeBron ain't catching MJ.
What LeBron's accomplished over the course of his career, it makes him the GOAT.
I'm still going with MJ as the GOAT, and LeBron's got to get those rings.
I can't look at the body of work in my mind and not put LeBron at the top of this list.
According to a poll commissioned by ESPN, your answer may well be determined by how old you are. Overall, 57% of fans believe Jordan remains the GOAT, while 36% either choose LeBron or say it's too close to call. However, among younger fans aged 18 to 34, only 52% say they would choose Michael over LeBron if they were starting a team. 57% of those younger fans choose LeBron as the better passer, and 54% say he's a better defender. For what it's worth, 33% of fans that age say they never saw Jordan play.
Don't be in a rush to try to find the next Michael Jordan. It's not going to be another Michael Jordan.
The area of greatest dominance for Air Jordan comes from the Air Jordans. 4 decades later, it still has to be the shoes. 76% say his are the better sneakers. The off-the-court area in which LeBron has increased his numbers most has been through his social activism, particularly during the last 3 years. 44% of fans believe he has made the greater impact off the court. While Jordan still has the majority, that gap between them has been cut in half since 2020.
Oh, blocked by James!
So in summary, it's safe to say there are still more basketball fans who choose Michael Jordan as the greatest player ever. However, it is impossible not to notice how much closer that becomes the younger the respondents are. Plus, at age 38, LeBron is demonstrating very little decline.
LeBron! Throw that baby down! Dunk of the year by LeBron!
His play remains at an all-NBA first-team level. Put those two together and run these numbers back in 3 more years. It won't be a surprise if the title of GOAT changes hands once and for all.
Here's what I know. That great debate, it will only continue. When we return, though, on NBA Today, the Hawks, they've made their hire for their next head coach. We'll discuss the particulars of that signing when we return.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! The brilliant shooting of Stephen Curry continues. And he ties the NBA record with his 12th three-pointer of the game.
Can you believe that shot? An iconic call. It was already 7 years ago to the day. The rare double bang call from our very own Mike Breen. And Breen says that he's actually only ever used it 3 times. So in honor of the legendary call, Steph Curry and the Curry brand, they're releasing the Curry 2 Retro Double Bang. So check out who Steph gifted the very first pair.
Hey, Mike, I'm hoping this video finds you in good spirits, my man. As I get ready to release the Curry 2 Bang Bang PE Retro for the first time ever, I realize there's no way we could drop these without the involvement of the man who gave these shoes a nickname 7 years ago. So you're the first person to get these in hand. So we got a double bang and call in 2016. Before it's all said and done, I think I need a triple bang call from Mr. Mike Breen himself. They do have a timeout, decide not to use it. Curry from way downtown, bang, bang. Oh, what a shot from Curry. All love, man. Enjoy the shoes, and I appreciate you.
Wow. Man, thank you, man. That's so nice of you.
Those are the originals.
That's so cool.
Absolutely. Thank you, boss.
Honor.
That's so cool. Triple bang call, though. I don't know about that. Take a look at the new shoes. They're pretty good looking. Mike Breen gets the first pair. A very special moment for both Steph and Mike Breen, 2 people who are still at the top of their respective fields 7 years later. Keeping it pushed into some news here. Quinn Snyder has been hired as the Atlanta Hawks coach. That's what sources tell ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. The Hawks reached an agreement with Snyder on a 5-year deal only 5 days after firing McMillan on Tuesday. General manager Landry Fields stressed that Atlanta's 8th place standing in the Eastern Conference was not acceptable for a team that advanced to the conference finals in 2021. Snyder was coach of the Utah Jazz from 2014 through 2022. Take a listen to what he had to say earlier today.
I think the opportunity to come in now, although it may be challenging, is also an opportunity to hopefully go on a run but also, and I think these things are not mutually exclusive, to begin to build a foundation, a culture, and you go through it together collectively. And I didn't want to wait until next year to do that.
We now welcome in ESPN senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, thank you so much for joining us. So when can we expect Snyder to coach his first game with Atlanta?
Malika, tomorrow night against the Washington Wizards in Atlanta, as Quinn Snyder said, he's getting right to work here with this team. He met with the team earlier today. And listen, he's got the staff in place. Nate McMillan's staff, Joe Prunty, who is the interim coach, of course, will continue to serve for Quinn Snyder, at least for the rest of this season. But he wants to get in there and start building relationships with the key players here, getting to know them as he starts to put his program in place. You know, this is an off season where potentially the Hawks could have some significant decisions to make on personnel, and it just seemed there's enough of the season left for Quinn Snyder to get in and get to work.
Yeah, get to work right away. Woj, what has the reaction been inside the Hawks organization to this hiring?
Euphoria. I mean, they in Atlanta knew and believed, like I think a lot of teams around the league, that Quinn Snyder was the most accomplished coach certainly available in the marketplace. And he really fit what Atlanta needed, which was somebody to come in and put a program in place to bring, just tremendous leadership. Anybody who's played for Quinn Snyder or coached with him or worked with him in a front office, they'll just tell you about all the different ways Quinn Snyder is going to impact your organization. Just tremendous attention to detail, a very demanding coach, but also a coach who, again, has a unique way of connecting with players. And I think when players know you can get them better, you can help them get better contracts, have more individual team success, they're going to gravitate toward that kind of a coach. And I think for this organization, Landry Fields, their new general manager, to get Quinn Snyder before really anybody else in the marketplace was able to get at him in the offseason, this is a real coup for the Atlanta Hawks organization.
Absolutely, Woj. Thank you. The Quinn Snyder era begins for Atlanta tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern as the Hawks face the Washington Wizards. We're also just a couple of days away